The price of Bitcoin keeps rising. $28,290 is the current price of Bitcoin last thing on Sunday evening. And currently on the price of Bitcoin, we've got this CME gap open that is now at $26,935. On the chart, where does $26,935 sit? Well, it's all the way back down at these levels. And it would require, if Bitcoin were to close that CME gap, a fairly significant retrace. If we're to measure the value of the retrace, if we were to close that CME gap, which at this point seems unlikely, it would require the price of Bitcoin to drop by about 4.86%. Quite a considerable drop, to be honest, and I don't really think we're going to see it. So in today's video, I'm going to explain why I don't think the CME gap's going to close this week. I'm also going to explain, it probably will close at some point in the future, don't get me wrong, but this week, it doesn't look like it's going to close. And there is a key reason as to why I believe that. I'm going to show you my current open positions. I'm going to show you how I'm positioning myself for the next week when it comes to Bitcoin and with altcoins and with Ethereum as well. I'm going to do some analyzing of the prices and tell you what's going to happen over the course of the next week. Now, we've had some incredible accuracy here recently on the channel, so if you wouldn't mind, drop a like on today's video. I would appreciate that. We're trying to get 1,000 likes on this video. At the same time, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. You will like it. My name is Jordan. I trade cryptocurrencies here on the internet. I make and lose millions of dollars here every single week, so please do drop a like, subscribe, and let's crack straight on with what's going on with the price of Bitcoin by looking at my current open trades. Now, currently, I've got this position open here on the price of Bitcoin. Yes, I know it says 100x. I'm not 100x long. I'm actually 10x long. But that's only because of the amount of positions that I've got open right now. I'm going to explain some of these positions in today's video. So first of all, Bitcoin long position, $116,000 from the level of $27,100 is currently yielding a $5,000 profit. Two losing trades right here, the CTC trade that I opened in the previous video, and the Elrond trade, currently sat basically at my entry. It's just $100,000 trade. So currently, I went long at 44.94. Currently, the price is 44.64. Same with this, to be honest. It's only like 2 cents away from my entry. These are not really losing positions. They're yet to move. And it's next week, the altcoin market, I think, is going to go scatty. Scatty is good, by the way. Scatty is not a bad thing. Anyway, also the price of Ethereum right now is doing pretty well. I'm 11x long on Ethereum from the level here of 112. Oh, I've got a $112,000 position open just below $1,800, currently yielding a $2,000 profit. Now, I actually increased the size of that trade by about double earlier today. Some more trades that I've got open here, of course, long position on JST, long position on Lux, long position on Matic. The Matic one is a big trade. That's now $417 in profit, but again, it's basically at my entry price. I longed 120. The current price is just above 120, so it's really yet to move yet. And at the same time, if you're looking at the price of Matic, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, we're looking at the daily chart right now on the price of Matic. On the daily chart of Matic, it could seriously run, could this? I'm expecting, again, a run back to the upside over the course of next week on Matic. If it gets back up to like 140, 150, this trade here makes lots and lots of money, which is kind of what I would like to see. Now, of course, I am still invested in XTP, I am still invested in DAFI, and I am still invested in caps. All of which I think are at amazing buying points right now. And earlier today, I bought $20,000 of XTP coins. It's just before I filmed today's video. I forgot to load up a tab on the screen, so I can't show you the charts for these things. I can't even show you the chart for caps. However, I think all of those are right down in the gutter. In fact, the only one that I've actually got open right now here is DAFI. Let's give this page a refresh and see where the current price of DAFI is. I've not checked it today. Currently, the price of DAFI down at 1.4 cents. Yeah, it's in the gutter at the moment. I think stuff like that is really going to rally next week if we see what I'm expecting to see on the traditional market. So what am I expecting to see on the traditional markets? Well, something that we saw today is UBS Group actually acquired Credit Suisse. Now, if you're familiar with what's going on with Credit Suisse, basically Credit Suisse is running a hundreds of billions of dollars of deficit in their accounts. They've lost a lot of customers' money. Oh, what does that remind me of? We went through this last year. The dominoes are only just starting to fall in the traditional space. Now, UBS has now acquired Credit Suisse. Something that people don't seem to understand about UBS is kind of like the FTX of the Celsius situation. So when Celsius first kind of went bust or whatever it was, FTX said, let's buy up Celsius, let's buy up Voyager. Now, UBS have now bought or acquired Credit Suisse. Being that UBS have acquired Credit Suisse, I started looking into the financials of UBS. Now, if we actually look into the financials of UBS, you can see here the total cash and due from banks that they've got at the moment is 157,000 times. I think this is in the millions, so whatever it is, just add like 6 zeros to the end of it. But we're just going to use these numbers here just to kind of give you the perspective. But essentially, 157,858 points on the total cash and due from banks. At the same time, that's down 10% so far this year. They've got 437,000 invested into various different investments, some of which is in securities, some of which is in federal funds, and other of which is, just in various different things. Now, what I'm finding particularly interesting is, so they've got 437,000 in investments. However, their net loans right now is, and this is liabilities, is 371,000. Around 2/3 of the investment capital that they've got is also loaned out to other people. Now, looking through some of these figures, it kind of concerns me quite significantly because you've got your loan loss allowance reserves only at 724 points, whereas you've got your net loans here at 300,071. It's a very big difference. Now, from analysing this data, basically I'm coming to the conclusion that yes, of course, UBS has got assets, but they just spent billions of assets on acquiring Credit Suisse. That then falls into their investment side of the business. Now, they don't have a fund that would cover any kind of significant loss in the trading department, or if there was to perhaps be some defaults on loans, Credit Suisse, and because again, we know Credit Suisse is basically taking up that entire pot right now, but UBS would not be able to pay out customers. If that's the case, UBS could be the next one. UBS could be the FTX of the banking industry. And that could be the biggest and most accurate call that I've ever made. If UBS goes bankrupt in the next month or so, don't be that surprised. They've just taken on a completely failed bank. So that's going to get interesting. At the same time, all of this kind of fear in the traditional markets is what is causing Bitcoin's price to go up in a straight line right now. And of course, don't forget, if you are interested in trading, watch the trading tutorial. Watch it. It's important. Learn how to trade before you place any kind of trade. You don't want to end up like the banks. You don't want to be sniffing cocaine off your desk, losing all of your customers' money and not giving a care in the world. You want to be making money, so educate yourself. Again, go to cryptosavingexpert.com. There is a free trading course on there. I don't want your money to learn these things. I just want you to get better at it, and then you can become financially free. You can be like me, not rely on the banks. A lot of people ask me, what do you do? Where do you keep your money? I don't keep my money in a bank. That would be just counterintuitive. I keep all of my money in Bitcoin, and I just put up with the way the market swings. Over the course of the past 10 years, there has been no better savings account than Bitcoin. I think that's not going to change over the next 100 years or throughout my entire lifetime. I think that Bitcoin is going to be the best savings account. And for that reason, I'll continue to have all of my savings in Bitcoin, all of my wealth in Bitcoin. And as and when I need it, I will sell to fiat currencies and spend it in the real world. Anyway, another thing that people keep on asking me is, when are you racing? If you just type it on Google, JCW calendar 2023, it'll show you when I'm racing. The first race date, by the way, is 22 to 23 on April. You're welcome to come. I'd recommend you buy tickets in advance though. I think there will be some tickets sold on the door, but you want to make sure you can get your tickets beforehand, and also it's like 50% cheaper to get your tickets to the race weekends. Now basically, all you need to find on the internet is basically British Touring Car Weekends tickets, because we race on the same weekends as British Touring Cars. For those of you that know, I do racing cars. I race cars for, not for a job, as just kind of a hobby that I started doing during the bear market, and now it's getting quite serious because the season's going to start soon. So if you want to come and meet me at a track, feel free. I'll drop a link to Donington Park tickets, which is the first race of the season, in today's video description. Again, you'll have time to talk to me at the track. If you ever got a question to ask me, come to the tracks. It's the best place to meet me. Anyway, you can have a look in the pits. You can sit in the car, do whatever you want. Anyway, price of Bitcoin right now, $28,198. CME gap right now, $26,935. However, I don't think that CME gap's going to close. I really don't. I don't buy it at this point. I think that Bitcoin, to be honest, is going to keep running. As I said before, look, if we break through this level of resistance, if we just zoom out on the chart to see what's happening right now, it's quite significant if we break through the next level, which is up here at $28,700. Now, currently we're only $500 away from that level, but say that Bitcoin breaks through $28,700, I really think we rally up to $40,000. And as you'll know, if you follow my Twitter account, I've been tweeting out recently, look, if Bitcoin hits $40,000 in March, I'm going to give $10,000 to one person that follows me on Twitter. So go over there, check that out as well. Only goes to one person, but let's make one person rich. I can't do it for everybody. Now, the other key thing to point out about the markets right now would be the DXY. Now, currently, the DXY is closed because it's the weekend. Tomorrow, if we see this shooting to the downside, we're seeing the US dollar losing value at a significant pace. Now, one of the key reasons why there is a man that is like ex-VP at Coinbase or something like that, he's placed $1 million bet that the price of Bitcoin hits $1 million before July 2023. And this is actual money that he can't take back now until July. He either wins the bit or loses $1 million. Now, being that somebody of such intelligence with such wealth is putting such a large amount of money behind a bet like that, I mean, I'd be shocked. But I'm not saying no. We could enter into a period of hyperinflation. And say that we enter into a period of hyperinflation, what do you think happens to the price of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's value, it stays the same. But the dollar value of it increases significantly because the value of the dollar is going to start crashing. So let me explain what would happen. Look, if we're to see a similar run in the US dollar as to what we've seen in the past, we see the US dollar just gets absolutely mashed. Now, currently what we're seeing, if I just kind of zoom in on this chart so you can see a little bit better, we've actually broken back within the previous trading range. At the same time, if we lose this level of support tomorrow, we could drop all the way down to the bottom end of this scale right here, which will be a very significant drop off in the value of US dollar. So if the US dollar is to lose approximately 13% of its value, the last time that this happened, the price of Bitcoin went from $3,000 to $60,000 or $69,000. The time before this happened, Bitcoin went from what, like $50 or something like that, up to $20,000. This is the bull market 2017. This is the bull market 2019 to 2020. This here is going to get really fun if these banks start going bankrupt and governments have to bail out these banks, because now they've set a precedent. Now they're saying, look, we're not allowing banks to fall. We're going to pay out the deposits, which means that you're going to devalue currency. At the same time, I think it's next week. Let me just check the calendar. Yes, it's next week. So on the 22nd of March, the Fed's going to start opening their traps again, and they're going to tell us what they're going to do with regards to inflation. Next week's going to be volatile. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's money to be made on the markets. And I can't wait for it, to be honest. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Now, looking through, again, some of the trades that I've got open right now, some of them are good, some of them are bad. If we just give a quick scroll through, plus $36, plus $5 grand, plus minus $1 grand, minus $1 grand, plus $2 grand, minus $200, plus $200, plus $200, minus $6 grand, plus $500, minus $3.5 grand, and minus $600. Now, these two trades, the minus $6 grand is slowly coming back around. This trade at its worst point was minus $12,000. I missed a trick on that trade and I got it pretty wrong. But at the same time, I don't mind because we've made money in other places while that's been taking place. Again, I don't just... Well, one of the things that I think a common mistake people make is they put all of their assets into one thing, instead of putting a very small proportion of their assets into a lot of different things and then taking an overall hedge on the market. Now, that's what I'm doing here. Why have I got all these trades open on all these different coins? Well, the key reason why is I'm just taking a hedge on the market right now. I think the crypto market over the course of the next week is going to do some growing. If I'm correct about that, I'm going to make a lot of money. I only need it to grow on one day out of the 7 days next week to turn a profit. I just need it to grow more on that one day than what it'll lose for the rest of them. It's going to get volatile. It's going to get interesting. What's going to happen to the price of Ethereum? And why do I expect the altcoin market's going to grow? Well, let me explain that to you. First of all, looking at the price of Ethereum, we've broken through this key level of resistance right now. But if we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin, in fact, this is Bitcoin dominance right now. Bitcoin dominance is on one at the moment. But where is my Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart? Here it is. This is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. This chart has been struggling recently, but I'm expecting that Ethereum versus Bitcoin actually has a fairly significant bounce within the next, I'd say 10 days. I think we're within 10 days of a very significant bounce. Now, what does a significant bounce look like? Well, if Ethereum does what I think it's going to do and maintains this level of support that it's currently sat on, breaks back into the previous trading range, I would expect the price of Ethereum is going to rise approximately, how much is that? About 16% over the value of Bitcoin. Now, if that is to happen, what we'll see on the altcoin market is, yes, Ethereum's value will rise 16 to 20% against the price of Bitcoin, which means say that Bitcoin is $30,000, or rather it goes up to $30,000 and the price increase to $30,000 is what, $2,000 on the value of Bitcoin, so that'd be like a nearly 10% price increase. It would mean that essentially Ethereum would increase in price around 30% during that same period of time. Now, I expect that will also be reflected in the altcoin market, which is why I'm taking a hedge on the altcoins right now with regards to the amount of positions that I've got open. Don't forget, these are just my trades. I have a whole cryptocurrency portfolio that is completely separate from all of these things, that is absolutely slapping right now. For the first time in a year, I'm at that point now where I'm going, right, it's time to start considering which colour yacht we want. Because it could happen. If Bitcoin gets to 40 grand, I'm buying one. It's going to be a fun year. I want you to join me on the channel. Drop a like on it. Next week going to be interesting. And I'm going to be uploading a video first thing tomorrow morning to this YouTube channel. So do not miss it. Slap a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on channel notifications. Do not miss a video. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.